Hi everyone, Anju Makhija here. Thank you Sarbajit for that nice reading in so many languages, and it really was nice to hear you. I think it's the second time I've heard Sarbajit live. Okay, hi Beena and hi everybody, Anjali and everybody, Menka. Okay, uh, so the timing seems good and everything seems to be on time. So I think I can start off. I'll just start off with a poem called Can You Answer Professor? And I'd like to address this poem to Ashwini. Are you there, Ashwini? I can't see his post. Okay, Ashwini, come on quickly. This poem is for you, addressed to you. Well, too bad. I guess he'll miss it. Okay, can you answer Professor? Ashwini has all the answers, being a professor, I think. When were you born? Forbes dry gin, run flavored pipe tobacco, and the fly is dead. When will you die? Refilling the glass, lighting the pipe, peeling the seeds, lulled by the music, flipping through paradise regained, meditating on the bend of a leaf, a flap, and the fly is dead. You do not know. Empty glass, pipe. Prabodh says video. You can't see, or you can see, I guess. Okay, that was for Ashwini, and he, I think, missed it. He's got my book. It's called Can You Answer Professor? Uh, the next poem I will read is all of us are, but the youngsters especially. And I saw a post on Instagram where a youngster wrote, there is no hope for us. No education, no future, nothing. I don't know what, really, I don't know what the future is. I just read how many jobs were lost in America, and the number is truly frightening. Anyway, this book is called Poems Grow With You. It's one of my recent books. And this particular poem, in this poem, I take the voice of a young girl. And she is working in Dharavi. She works in Dharavi. And here's the poem. Dharavi, as we know, is a slum in Mumbai, probably the biggest in Asia, I'm told. Sari saris. My body is covered with sweat and shine, shine and sweat. I live in Dharavi, wake up at 6 a.m. My fingers move quickly, stitching gold wires on glittering saris for Bollywood. My body is covered with sweat and shine, shine and sweat. I'm not complaining, though I should. I'm the smartest in our group. My boss is a crook. He traps tribal children and brings them to the city. Someone, stop him, please. The next poem is again in a child's voice. It's about a child who's looking for a shelter to sleep at night. She's unable to find a home in a girl's shelter, so she decides to go in a boys' shelter. And this is actually based on a real life experience working with these kids. So the girl says, I cannot live on the street. Deva, I need to sleep. This home is for boys. Girls' shelters are full. How should I get in? Back door locked, front door locked. What should I do? I'll slide in like a snake through the windows, wearing a pant and a shirt. Here I come. Beta, take this chatai, brush, towel, soap, these clean clothes. I hate this boy near me. Why is he looking at me? Push, push, push. Will he find out I'm a girl? Beta, take a bath, clean the room, prepare for school. I hate pants and shirt. My boo-boos are showing. I have nowhere to go. God, problems than any of us who are scrubbing and cleaning the floors. Their problems are psychological, physical, emotional, you name it. It's all there. And surely God is testing them very, very, very young. Seeing this whole Mahim and everything, I was reminded of my grandfather. And in these readings, there have been a lot of grandfather poems. But I'm sad to say that my grandfather came during the partition of India, and he lost everything. All the money, all his house. We all know the whole story. So I will not say that. I will not repeat it. But from this I have learned that what loss means. Menka is here, and Menka and I had translated a few poems in our book, Freedom and Fishers. But Indian language and poetry. Okay. Indian language. Ashwini says Indian language. My poems are only in English, so I can't do much about it, Ashwini. So anyway, this whole thing reminds me of the partition, and I remember what my grandparents and what the whole generation must have been through. In the end, my grandfather went mad, I know that much. My granny used to always say, let him win at every chess game, you people lose. So let me read a poem about the partition. This one's called Her Mother's Tongue. Of course, we lost our language, and that is also known to most people. Sarbajit spoke about in Punjabi, and the Sindhis and Punjabis Punjab got a state. Sindhis did not get a state, so the language is all gone here and there. And so let me get on with this poem, Her Mother's Tongue. Shrunken face, body stooped frail, varicose veins, arthritic pain, doddering down the road, clutching her grandchild's hand, bridging the zebra crossing, memories resurface. Our ancestry lost, she moans, cars and carriage, garden and bungalows in Karachi and Lahore. Nothing belongs, nothing is ours. Asanjo sab kuch viyo. असांजो सब कुछ वियो. Her grandmother, her granddaughter hops up and down, recites Jack and Jill, went up the hill, rolls her eyes and O's. Like the eyes of a potato, her convent education shows. Mummy, I implore, teach her our language, dohas and bhajans of Latif and Sachal. Mother, dazed by the traffic's haze and last night's party where diamonds and drinks flowed, can never quite understand how Chhatrapati or some other tongue twister will stake claim, and on hearing Sindhi, the little one may bite her tongue. She already mimics our funny language. Head circling, mother groans. Our past was scattered with granny's ashes. Now it will vanish with mine. It is kind of sad that the culture is dying, but that's how it is, I guess, and we're all trying our best. I will, in the end, I think we have 10 minutes more. In the end, I'll just read a poem from Shah Abdul Latif, who was one of our greatest Sindhi poets. And right now, I think I would like to go. You know, this morning I was thinking that all the poets who are reading perhaps owe a lot to our great poets like Dom Morris, Nissim Ezekiel. And so I thought it's only fitting in this poetry reading that we remember them. And here is a poem from a book of mine. It's for Dom Morris. It's called Black and White. Black and White for Dom Morris. Life gets darker as we grow older. We had shared a cigarette at Indigo. His crop of white hair made him look boyish. White was not the color of aging. For Dom, it was a color alive. He had climbed the stairs, ladies on either side, ordered oysters and tied the napkin at the necktie, and digested literary issues. Late night, he staggered down the steps. We held on as if to precious china. That night I prayed, keep a special place for him, God, as you surely do for all great poets. His number is still in my mobile. To delete it would be to concede Dom's pen no longer glides across the page. He had once advised me, your poetic voice is adventurous. The chiseling will come with patience and age. As my dark hair peppers with white, white becomes the color of aging. As I witness death at close quarters, the darkness Dom described comes alive. I resort to Kundera, Krishna, sometimes even a poem. Occasionally, I attempt to write a poem that will die on the page, never giving birth to another. I think 5 minutes. Okay, I'll read this for Nissim Ezekiel if I have time. And Mansi, how much time do I have? I'd like to otherwise end with a Okay, very short. Shah Latif says, and this is in translation, hidden from me are the innermost secrets of the world. Hidden from me are the innermost secrets of the world. Countless oceans boil within. I burn. I burn. My beloved bound me first, then threw me into deep waters. My beloved bound me first, then threw me into deep waters. Standing on the bank, he said, do not wet your garments. How can one standing in deep waters escape from being wet? How can one standing in deep waters escape from being wet? Holy One, teach me the secret. And Latif tells us the final verse. Those who make their body a rosary, mind a bead, heart a musical instrument, hear songs of love. He is one, He is infinite. Even in sleep, they remain awake. Thank you very much, Mansi, Ashwini, Kitab Khana, everybody. Thank you for listening.